Hi guys, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to use the UI appearance introduced in iOS 5. So we'll create a new Xcode project, create a single view application, and the product name I'm just going to call it Appearance Tutorial. And device I'm just going to choose iPhone and use automatic reference counting. Click next and create our project. I'm going to create mine on the desktop. Okay. And well, the UI appearance is I'm gonna be using it so then that we can customize the appearance of our navigation bar, our tab bar, our bar button items, like a lot of things. So, but in this tutorial, I'm just gonna show you how to customize our navigation bar and the bar button item that goes on the navigation bar. So right now, let's go to our view controller .zip view controller .zip and then just add a label first so we know like what's going on. So here I'm just gonna add a label. I'm just gonna change the text to view controller 1 so you know that you're in view controller 1, and I'm gonna change the background of this view controller 1 to become this yellow. Alright, and then our AppDelegate. In our AppDelegate, I'm gonna create a navigation bar to go along with this view controller 1. So in our AppDelegate.m, I'm just gonna start by saying I'm gonna comment out this one where self.rootViewController equals self.viewController, because I'm gonna change my root view controller to be the navigation bar. So I'm just gonna do that by saying UI navigation controller nav controller equals UI navigation controller alloc init. Then I'm just gonna say nav controller set view controllers, and it takes an ns array, so ns array with object, and the object will be self.viewController. The self.viewController is defined as this one here, the viewController alloc init with name viewController.zip, and that's created for us when we create the single view project. And from there we set our root view controller because we deleted the root view controller earlier, so we just have to say self.window.rootViewController equals nav controller. So instead of the root view controller being the original self.view controller, the nav controller is going to be our root view controller. So then let's run it and see what it looks like right now. So now well, let's wait for my simulator to show up. Let me scale it up a little bit, 100%. Alright, so here's what the app looks like so far. You have your navigation bar and you have your view controller 1, but your navigation bar is the normal blue color. So we can change that, and we'll do that by creating a new class. We're gonna create a new class, and we're gonna just say go file, new file, and choose an Objective-C class, and it will be a subclass of NSObject. So in the subclass, choose NSObject, and the class I'm just gonna call it common UI appearance. Alright, class common UI appearance, subclass of NSObject. Click next and create our class. So there's our common UI appearance.h and common UI appearance.m. In the .h, in the common UIAppearance.h, I'm just gonna define one method, do a plus sign, do void set up navbar appearance. Alright, well this plus sign just tells you that it's a class method, not an instance method. A lot of the past tutorial that I've done is a minus sign. So a plus sign, you call that you call the method name with the actual class name, which is common UI appearance. But if it's a minus sign, like most of these methods, you gotta call it with the instance of the class. But here, with the plus sign, you call it with the actual class name. And now I'm gonna define this method called setup navbar appearance in the common UI appearance implementation file. And again, I do that. I say plus, and then I start saying setup navbar appearance. And now we get to define our method. So here I'm just gonna start by saying UI navigation bar appearance, and then we just say set bar style, and then it'll be UI bar style. I'm just gonna say UI bar style black. And so from there we can set up the bar button item also. So I can say UI bar button item appearance set tint color. So it will set the tint color of the bar button items that's gonna appear on the navigation bar. So we can say UI color. I'm just gonna make it green color. Yeah, and I also use this in my app, in my Idea Diary app, using the UI common appearance. So this is a part of the code that I pull out from the app also. So this is UI navigation bar appearance set title text attributes, and from here I'm just gonna it's gonna take an NS dictionary. So then I'm just gonna say NS dictionary dictionary with objects. Let's do with objects and keys. So it's just gonna take a pair. So first, it's gonna be UI color. I'm gonna say green color again. And you can also change this to anything. So this will be UI text attribute text color. So our text color in the navigation bar will be green. And now I can set the let's say UI color. I'm gonna do clear color, and this clear color will be for the UI text attribute text shadow color. And I can keep on going. I can say UI font UI font with name, and I can say Helvetica. Size, I can make it 14, and this one will be for UI text attribute font. UI text attribute font. Alright, and I'm just gonna stop at that, and okay, and we have to do one more thing, because now we've declared the method here, the setup navigation bar appearance. So in our AppDelegate.m, in our did finish with launching options method, before we do the nav controller, we can say oops, we have to import it. We have to import our common UI appearance.h, and then we can say common UI appearance set up navbar appearance. So from there, all of the navigation bars that we use from now in this app will have that kind of appearance. So all your themes throughout your apps will be consistent. So now you see the navigation bar is black instead of being the normal blue that it came in. And in our view controller.m, we can change a few things in order to make it look like to use our bar button item that we used earlier. So here I can say in our view did load self navigation item set title. I'm just gonna call this title, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna add a bar button item. UI bar button item add button equals UI bar button item alloc init with bar button system item. All right, UI bar button system item add. So it's gonna be the plus sign. Target will be self. Action selector method. I'm just gonna call this add something. All right. So that'll be the method that it calls when the add button gets clicked. And then we can say self navigation item set left bar button item, and the left bar button item is going to be add button. All right. Now we just have to define this method called add something. So do void add something, and add something is gonna, let's do nothing for now. Let's just see how this works. So run it on our simulator. Here's our title, size 14 of the Helvetica. Here's our green tint color, and we can change that in the common UI appearance. Let's say we don't like this font. We can, in the common UI appearance, instead of, for the UI text attribute font, instead of font with name Helvetica, I can say Chalk Duster instead, and then run it again. Now see, the font changes to the Chalk Duster font type. So let me create another class to show you. I'm going to call the new class ViewController2 to show you that, like, when we create a navigation bar, also for the second class, we don't have to do anything else. And then the theme, the color, the tint color, everything will be the same. So just go File, New File, and choose Objective-C class, and it will be a subclass of UI View Controller. And I'm just going to call this one ViewController2. Make sure this is checked with zip for user interface. Click Next and create our second class. I'm going to pull this up. Oops. Okay, let me pull this up out of there. All right, so here's our ViewController. Let me rearrange this. Oh, I only pulled up one class. Sorry for that confusion. Let me pull up the ViewController.m and the ViewController zip file. All right, so in our ViewController2.zip, I'm just gonna again change the background color. This one's gonna be, all right, this one's gonna be blue, and I'm not gonna have anything in here. Alright, I'll put a label in here. I'm just gonna call this ViewController2. Alright. And that's all I'm gonna have. I'm not gonna do anything in the implementation files of the ViewController2. So here in our ViewController implementation file, I'm just gonna import our ViewController2.h. And I'm just in the add something. So when the add button is pressed, because right now when we press the add button, it doesn't do anything yet. So now I'm going to define it so that when the add button is pressed, it creates an instance, a pointer to an instance of ViewController2. I'm just going to call it VC2 equals ViewController2 alloc init, and then I'm just going to say self navigation controller, self navigation controller, push view controller, VC2, animated yes. So now it pushes, when the add button is pressed, it'll go to the second view controller. And let's look at what happens here. Alright, so here's the add button. Press it, goes to view controller 2, and notice this navigation bar is black, like the one from the first view controller, and the tint color of the navigation button is green. Not navigation button, the bar button item is green. And we can change the common appearance here. Again, .m, so instead of the bar button item, instead of you wanting it to be the green color, let's say you want it to be blue color, and change that right here. And let's say you want the title, instead of being green color, you want it to be red color. Because here is the UI text attribute text color of the navigation bar. So this is the appearance of the navigation bar. I want the text attribute color to be red and the UI bar button item appearance to be blue. Alright, so now that we've changed that in the common UI appearance, we can run it. See, now the button is blue, the text attribute text font is red. When you click on plus, see, this becomes blue again. And let me set the title for the view controller too, actually. Let's say, so I'm in my view controller 2 implementation file. Let's just say self navigation item set title view, let's just call it view 2, and run it. Just so you can see that, look, this is blue and red, this is blue and red, and the font is whatever font the common UI appearance define, which is like right now chalk duster size 14. So in this tutorial, you see that you only have to do this one time, and all the navigation bars and the bar button item in your app will be consistent. So that way you don't have to keep on setting like the bar style, the navigation bar style, or the bar button style, or if you have tab bars on like every single class, because you only have to do this in one class, and then in the AppDelegate, just call that method from that class that you set, and it'll set all of your items to be consistent. Alright, so thanks for checking out the tutorial, and if you have time, I use this code in my Idea Diary app, so check it out if you like, and thanks for watching the tutorial. Hope you've learned something new, and I'll see you next time. Thanks again for watching. Bye.